Your name is Jade Harley. Right now, you're holding off on entering your first gate, and instead searching your island, which has been transported to the land of frost and frogs. Your sprite said it's called that, but you can't help think that, at present, there is only the former. Right now, your sprite is not here. You'd rather not deal with her right now. You sigh, wiping a tear out of your eye, resolving yourself. It's cold as balls here. You have a coat, but it's way too big for you, once belonging to your grandfather, Jacob. The path towards the frog temple is clearer now, the lagoon having been frozen over, making it easy to simply cross and climb up. You shrug the rifle over your shoulder, but you haven't yet run into any imps. Good. While you walk, your phone buzzes. Jade.
Hi, Dave. Did you change your handle?
Sort of. What the fuck is going on here? Not right now, man.
Oh, is one of you Dave and the other Dave Sprite?
Oh, no. I'm future Dave. Oh, gotcha. And I'm past Dave, right? Close. Present TG.
What?
Just relax. I'm from the future and I need a favor, Jade.
Oh, okay. Like in Terminator. I've never actually seen it.
You're in your frog ruins, right?
Yeah.
Tight. Listen carefully. You know the flower thing?
The one I got your discs from?
Yeah. That thing is sort of like a sort of time capsule thing. It's too much of an ordeal to explain. Just write down Dave with the date April 13th, 2009 on something and stick it in. Then set it for an hour.
Oh, okay. I assume this is for time travel purposes.
Yep. No time to explain, though, which is, like, ironic. Oh yeah, PTG? Yo. Make sure to do this later, okay? Cool. AR will remind you, no worries. No idea who that is, but that's okay. And Jade, it's nice to hear from you. It's been a while.
Aw. Well, it hasn't for me, but it's nice to hear from you too, Dave.
You could say it's been a dog's age.
I guess you could? Wait, is there a joke I'm missing?
Oh, right, I guess it's too early for that. Anyways, later. You oblige future Dave, a little confused, but hey, you're here anyway. You're now in the main room of the ruins, a large ovular room with the flower capsule in the middle, now open from when you got Dave's discs. You don't have anything on hand to write with, so you look around at the place. To your surprise, on a desk, there's a large scrapbook and a journal. You hadn't noticed that before, tucked away near a wall on a panel on the floor you recognize as a transportalizer, like that is in your room. You tear a page from the journal and scrawl on it, Dave, tossing it into the time capsule. You're very curious about the journal, but for now you promised your friend you'd help him out. Even so, you notice writing on the wall in old chalk that makes you curious, right above the transportalizer. To Lois, do not enter. There will be plenty of time for investigation later. You set the little digital readout to the capsule to 60 minutes, pressing a button. To your shock, however, as the meter begins to count down, the whole ruins begin to rumble. Confused, you move to ask Dave what's happening, but as you reach for your phone, he's already messaged you. Oh shit, I forgot to mention. Once you set the timer, it'll launch the entire ruins into space. So, I would run. You wish you could stay to bitch Dave out, but sadly the rumbling is only getting worse. You hoof it to the entrance of the ruins and leap, landing in a roll on the ice below, hissing as your knees buckle. Behind you, the ice near the base of the ruins is cracking, making your own footing unsteady. You scramble to the edge of the lagoon, frigid water splashing on your back as the ice gives way under your feet. A rocket beneath the ruins exploding in a deafening crash, which wrenches the ruins from the very soil at the bottom of the lagoon. You go flying like a doll, landing on the hard butt of your rifle, face down in the snow, your coat soaked. You flip over, gasping for air from lungs that have been knocked empty, watching helplessly as the frog ruins sail into the sky above, towards Skya. You pant, trying to stand, but the cold is too much. Your last thought before you pass out is,
I'm going to kill Dave.
Your name is Jade Harley, the Witch of Space. You awaken with a start in your bedroom on Prospect. You were just having one of your dreams again, but oddly, something about it strikes you as different this time. You're starting to think they might not be dreams at all. Your back still hurts, and you feel the chill of the icy water from that lagoon, and the memory is much clearer than usual. Miss Paint is nowhere to be found, which strikes you as odd. She did say she was helping someone today. You stretch, looking out the window, watching Prospect bustling below. You're sure of it now. Those dreams of yours are real, and they're not dreams at all. There seem to be two of you somehow, one here at home on Prospect, and one down below, now in the land of frost and frogs.
Excuse me,
says a gruff voice behind you. You turn in shock to see something. What you see is hard to describe. It's a massive carapacian, but there are ways in which he's different to anything you've ever seen before. For starters, he's black-colored, unlike the white-shelled Prospidians. Second, he's about 2 heads taller than you are, which is saying something, since you're 6'2". And third, he's wearing what is clearly Miss Paint's bonnet and apron. You say, blinking.
Hi.
When the guy doesn't speak, you do.
Who are you?
I'm your new nanny,
He says simply. There's so much wrong with that, you're not sure where to begin.
I don't believe you.
You say. He deflates.
Oh, man,
He says, tugging on the undersized apron.
it's the apron, isn't it? Boss said I looked fine, but I could see him trying not to laugh.
Oh, no. It's not the apron, sir. Ma'am? Spam? It's the fact that you're super clearly a bad guy.
You cross your arms.
Oh, shucks, he smiles. That's real sweet, Miss Witch.
How did you get here?
You ask a little dumbfounded.
Are you from Duras?
Yep, he says. Me and my boss are here to find the guys what killed our queen.
Oh,
You say.
so you can get revenge?
Revenge?
The man laughs.
Nah, so we can kill him in order to take the throne. See, the Black Queen's a real piece of work. We just want to eliminate any sort of challenges to our power.
You're a rebel group, then?
You sit on your bed. This guy doesn't seem dangerous to you, more like a big friendly bear.
Yeah,
He says, nodding.
they call us,
He pauses dramatically.
the Suits, led by Jack Noir himself.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, but that doesn't answer why you're here.
Oh, he says, wincing. I'm, on guard duty, making sure you're not causing any trouble. You're interfering.
Okay.
You say. You don't feel much like causing trouble for such a noble band of rogues.
What's your name?
I'm Queen.
He says proudly, hands on his hips. You can't help but giggle.
You sure are.
You agree. You share a good-natured chuckle, but the atmosphere is drained quickly. A walkie-talkie on the guard's hip hisses, buzzing to life. When it does, he snatches it urgently, speaking into it. That must be the boss. You only hear Queen's end of the conversation.
Boss? Oh, hell. What? He's... Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
He looks back at you hastily.
No, boss, the witch is, asleep. I can be there right now.
He hangs up, looking panicked.
You,
He says, pointing at you.
stay right there and don't...
The massive man is silenced, as to your abject horror, his head is blown clean off. Blood paints the door, his body falling to the floor as you feel your lungs start to piston without your consent, air moving too fast through you, heart racing. Over Queen's body steps a tan boot. You follow the leg up to the man's face, which makes your terror only increase.
JD Cakes?
The voice of your deceased grandfather is the last thing you hear before you pass out. Your name is Jade Harley. You awaken in your living room, panting and gasping, bolt upright. No doubt about it now, your dreams are real. You look at your hands, shivering.
You're up.
You hear the voice of your sprite speak from nearby.
You saved me?
You ask. Your sprite drifts into view, and you cringe.
I guess.
She says half-heartedly. Earlier in the day, after hearing of Dave's success with prototyping himself, you'd remembered something. Your taxidermized clone up in the attic that had been wearing your prospect robes. Sadly, unlike Dave, you and yourself do not get along in the least. Worse still, Beck is nowhere to be found.
Well,
Even in spite of all this, she did save you.
thank you.
Jade Sprite sits on the couch opposite you, the fireplace crackling. The silence stretches long.
You're her, aren't you?
You say.
Me. I mean, the other me. The one I control in my dreams.
Jade Sprite looks at you, nodding slowly.
Stop being so miserable.
You growl.
I don't get it. We love Prospect. Flying around, miss paint. Why are you so fucking sad? I don't remember being this sad.
Jade Sprite doesn't speak, huddling into a hunched ball on the sofa.
And how did Grandpa even get you? Has he been to Prospect? Was that him who killed...
You're cut off by Jade Sprite's quiet sobbing.
What does this mean?
You demand, feeling rage rise in your chest. You're sick of this. You're supposed to be the one with answers, the one who understands, the one who's on top of things. You've been awake in Prospect the longest. You know most about the game. But now, you're as in the dark as anyone, and the only person who could help you make sense of things is a sobbing weirdo who killed your dog. You pinch the bridge of your nose. Okay, she didn't kill your dog.
I do love Prospect.
Jade insists, struggling for words.
That's why I'm...
You sit up, wincing. You don't feel like anything is broken, but your back aches from where you fell on your rifle.
Does something happen to Prospect, Jade?
You ask. The question makes Jade wail miserably, so you give up, cupping your hands over your ears. Sprite Jade sobs while you try to drift back asleep, to see what's happening on Prospect, but you can't doze off. Not with this drama queen around. Ugh, and Dave. He conveniently didn't mention the fact that the ruins were also a rocket, so now you can't even read the journal or explore the ruins. All you can do is angrily turn your back to Jade Sprite, shoving a pillow over your head as you text someone, anyone, to get things off your mind.
Rose? You're the only one online. I'm in such a shit mood. I think something bad is happening on Prospect.
That's rather uncanny.
What is?
I was about to warn you of that very thing. I've also got some information about the dreams you've been having.
Oh, well, fuck. I can't get to sleep right now. This is the worst.
I'm sorry, Jade. And I need to give you an apology. All those times you talked about your golden city in the clouds, I never believed you.
Really? Thanks, Rose. Even if it did sound pretty crazy.
You were right. None of us ever got to go to college. Northern Illinois is probably just gone now.
Rose, I'm really sorry, but I can't hear that right now. I'm in a bad place.
It's true. The world is gone. We're alone. The only thing to do is tear this wretched game apart, brick by brick. Indeed, the world is dead, so in this place, we need something to fight for, no matter how arbitrary.
Rose?
I cannot even say if we'll prevail. It might be hubristic to even suggest some things. Maybe we ought to just lay down and accept fate.
Rose! Stop being such a fucking downer. Oh my god, you're so grimdark. This isn't Warhammer 40k, you insane weirdo. This is real life. I don't want to die, and I don't want you to die, so just stop.
There's a long pause, where you realize you've been panting heavily, the space under your pillow hot with breath.
I'm sorry. You're right, Jade. You're clearly in no mood for my normal patter. I'll keep this brief.
Okay.
Things are happening on Durst and Prospect. We may need to accelerate things. The reckoning is going to begin very soon unless we can stop a man called Jack Noir. He is going to be initiating the reckoning.
Oh, jeez.
Dave and I are all the way on Durst right now. You and June have dream selves on Prospect, so you two need to stop him yourselves.
Huh?
I know. I'm sorry to heap this on you right now. But you said it yourself, Jade. You want to live.
Rose is right. You do want to live. Your anger turns into resolve in your chest, and you sit up.
Jade?
You say, addressing Jade Sprite.
Knock me out.
Jade Sprite looks absolutely miserable suddenly, but she sniffles, nodding.
Ask her.
She says, pointing to your phone.
Hey, idiot, I need you to put me to sleep. I know you can, with your shitty, stupid mind control powers or whatever.
Ugh, don't just ask me to do it. It's not fun if you want it.
Wow, thanks for saying that incredibly fucked up thing. Just do it.
I'm not your sleep aid, Harley. Crawl into some soap or slime and sleep like a normal person.
Sleeping in slime isn't normal.
Humans are so weird. But fine. You're bugging me now, so here you go. Give the Wiggler her grub loaf. Sleep. And just like she said, you sleep. Your name is Jade Harley, or it used to be. Now, you're Jade Sprite.
Woof.
You say to yourself, leaning back on your sofa. Across from you is the real Jade Harley, snoozing peacefully, but you know from experience her dreams are fraught. You fish Jade's phone from her pocket.
Dave?
Sup, Jade? Dave's making some sick money moves, but I can chat.
Oh, this is actually not Jade either. This is Jade Sprite.
Tight. What are you, some kind of clone? Doom timeline?
I need to ask you something about that, actually.
I'm the resident time expert, so go ahead.
I'm just confused. Everyone in this game has, like, an extra life on Prospit or Durst?
I wouldn't know anything about that personally, but I know the concept. Main Dave told me about his dreams.
Right. I think I'm Jade's dream self. She said my body was in the attic.
Gotcha.
But that's impossible because, well, my dream self died. I died.
Shit. Well, you've come back to life, it seems.
Woof.
I think it's likely that you're not a Doom clone like me.
Then what am I?
Probably you're you. A version of you from the future somehow.
From the future?
Yeah. And if you died and Jade is asleep now, then, well, she's you in the past. About to die.
That's horrible. Dave, I have to stop this.
No can do, bromigo. Things have to shake out in a certain way. If she doesn't die, it probably means you won't exist. Paradox. The fact that you exist means that she's already doomed.
So I just have to watch her die.
No way. You can help her.
But I'm so miserable, Dave. I can't get my final moments out of my head.
What happened to you, if you don't mind me asking?
I was on Prospit. I just found my grandpa and everything was so confusing. Then the guy we were fighting, it's too horrible.
Easy. No need to rehash that shit. If you're her dead dream self, then all you can do is help her. You know what she's going through. You have to make sure she wakes up safe. Cared for.
I can do that.
Good. And Jade?
Yeah, Dave?
Thanks for calling me Dave.
Of course.
You log off. Using your newfound powers, you lift Jade bridal style, traipsing out into the snow around your island, looking skyward to the first gate. You have to help Jade. You're her sprite now. You love Jade, even if you don't get along. You love yourself, even if you're not that self anymore. You crouch, then leap into the sky towards the gate, flying through it. Unfortunately, this was the worst mistake you ever made.
Back?
You cry as your snow-white pooch tackles you, sending you both rolling through the first gate. You and Jade pass through the portal, landing in the snow 100 meters from your house. Your portal just transported you back to your island. You don't have time to worry about that now, though. Something is happening. Beck's paws are on your shoulders, his dog face gazing down at you, and for the first time in your life, he looks terrified to you. He whines, paws sinking into your glowing, effervescent skin.
No! Back!
You wail, sobbing, feeling potent dread as before your eyes, your beloved dog simply vanishes with one final confused bark. Your name is now Jade Harley, like the main one. You're on Prospect, confused beyond belief. Your grandfather had suddenly appeared out of nowhere, killed a black-shelled guard, and dragged you down the stairs of your own tower. This was all while you were asleep, or awake on the land of frost and frogs. But now that you're waking up, you're in a Prospect street, disoriented and confused. Before you could so much as demand how any of this was possible, you both come face to face with some kind of birdman?
Jack!
Your grandpa bellows. The dead bodies of Prospedians are littered around the birdman. Jack, as he's called. You recoil in horror. Just moments ago you'd been speaking to a nice burly man in a maid outfit, and now, this horror. Jack's wings are unfurled like a noir angel, and when he turns to face your grandpa, his eyes are wild with malice. The murderous intent almost knocks you over.
You,
he says coldly, snarling above the commotion.
Give it up, you blackguard!
Grandpa says, aiming his rifle. That ring belongs to me. Jack raises his hand tauntingly, a gold ring on his finger glinting against sky as light.
Grandpa?
You ask, eyes swimming. Your grandfather has been dead since you were 13, even among the horrid scene around you. You can't help but meekly ask.
You killed my men!
Jack bellows.
Ace! Queen!
He clutches his head, red-colored tears streaking his black-shelled face.
My boys!
I only killed that galoot making eyes at my granddaughter, you scurrilous scoundrel!
Your grandpa narrows his eyes.
Oh,
Jack's voice tinges with unhinged, bitter sarcasm.
so you only killed one of my crew. I guess only one of the corpses are your fault. Goodness me, sir. I feel all fucking better.
Jack advances on you both. You don't know who this is or why your grandpa hates him, but you hide behind your pop, feeling like you're 13 again.
Not another step.
Your grandfather warns. Jack, grinning wickedly, takes another exaggerated, mocking step. Before your grandpa can squeeze down on the trigger, though, another black-shelled man grabs your grandpa from behind. He drops his rifle, which clatters across the yellow bricks.
Grandpa?
You scream, diving for the rifle, holding it shakily.
Well, well.
Jack says, wings folding, breath hitching in his chest.
Well, well. The little brats are awake. Cute. I don't have any beef with you, Squirt, so why don't you run along while I kill your pet pep?
You hold the gun before you, unable to hold it steady. You curse your nerves. You've shot lots of deer in the past, but this is a person, no matter how evil his eyes glint at you. Careful, Jack's henchman warns. He sounds almost caring, like he doesn't want to see you get hurt. Distracted, you feel Jack snatch the rifle from your grip, tossing it aside. You fall backwards onto your rear.
Jade, honey?
Grandpa chokes.
Save Grandpa now, dear. Just, remember what I taught you.
You can't respond. You're frozen. All you can do is watch, a spectator of your own paralysis, as Jack takes out the sword sheathed in his chest and...
Back off, dickhead!
You hear a voice and see a body, in pajamas like yours, slamming into Jack from behind.
Fuck!
Jack curses, toppling into Grandpa and his henchmen, your grandfather rolling out of the way in the fracas. Next to you lands a familiar face, one which makes you cry out in recognition.
Oh.
The figure of your sleeping sister snaps you out of your terror-induced inaction, like her presence alone soothes your nerves. She even manages to smile at you.
Sorry,
She says, helping you to your feet.
we can't meet up now. We've got to get out of here.
Get out of here!
Jack says, wings unfurling again, this time tossing his murderous intent your way.
I'm gonna make fucking corpses out of you!
Jack lunges, but Grandpa tackles him out of the way, causing a scuffle between them.
Where's the other guy?
June says, taking a chance to look around.
Jade!
Grandpa calls out.
Nab his sword!
The sword in question clatters to the ground, which you grab. Now that his weapon is gone, Grandpa can engage in fisticuffs, something he's famous for being good at. He's on top of Jack now, pummeling his face.
Take that and that!
Grandpa spits onto the ground nearby, cracking his knuckles.
Gotta learn a man like you to mess with my...
You see a flash. The ring on Jack's finger seems to glow. Before, 3 of the 4 pearls on his ring were illuminated, but now the 4th was coming into focus.
Oh,
Your eyes widen.
oh no.
Before you can realize what's going on, it's too late. Glowing a pure, bright white light, Jack throws Grandpa off him like a doll, and... Jack rears his head, his mouth drawn across his fangs, howling at Skya above like a dog.
No!
You cry. You know what's going on, and you're helpless to stop it.
That idiot!
You strike the ground with your fist as Jack hunches forward, his face twisting and changing, morphing into the profile of a dog. Your dog. Every time a player crosses their gate, the forces of light and darkness obtain the power of whatever was prototyped into the player's sprite. A one-armed jester from June, a squid doll from Rose, a black crow with a knife through its chest from Dave. And from you, the most powerful being on planet Earth, Becquerel the Nuclear Dog. When Jack snarls again, it's from a snout you recognize. You feel like you could cry.
Back!
You wail. And to your shock, Jack blinks in response. He cocks his head at you, curiously, his murderous intent seeming to evaporate.
Back?
You repeat in awe. You take a step towards Jack, holding out your hand. You'd assumed all along that your foes obtaining Beck's power would spell your doom, but it appears this being also obtained Beck's loyalty to you.
Jade?
June, terrified, puts her hand out cautiously, but you step past her.
Back. Put the sword down, boy. Okay.
You say calmly. Jack blinks again and drops the sword after a moment.
What are you?
He begins to speak, putting a hand to his temples.
Cut it out!
You laugh. Grandpa gets to his feet, clutching his arm, blood dripping from it.
It's okay. It's okay. Just calm down and...
You feel something sink into your back. Something wet trickles down, soaking into your golden robes.
Jade!
Your grandfather and June cry out in unison as you black out forevermore. You can no longer be Jade. Jade is dead. Instead, you are June. You watch in horror as Jack's henchman plunges the knife into your sister's back. Jade falls down limp, alarmingly lifeless in a way that makes your blood turn to ice.
Got her, boss,
says the henchman. To your surprise, Jack doesn't look pleased. In fact, he looks livid beyond words. Green nuclear energy crackles around him, and the henchman takes a step back.
Boss?
He stammers, a pained look on his face.
Boss, it's me, King. Boss?
You killed Jade, you fucking monster.
Jack howls, voice snarling and animalistic.
Young lady?
The old man says, hand on your back. You blink blearily. Over his shoulder is Jade's body. Jade's corpse. Huh? You say dumbly. The old man grabs your wrist, tugging you down a back alley. You look over your shoulder on the way, only to see Dog Jack plunging the sword into his own henchman's limp face over and over, red tears streaming from his eyes as he screams. Jack's howls make the whole planet shake, audible and deafening even as the old man, Jade's grandpa, tugs you across the gold bricks of Prospect.
You can fly, can't you, girl?
He demands.
Yes, sir.
You say hastily.
Then go. Leave me. Fly up to Skya. I've got a feeling our doggy friend isn't going to let this place stand for much longer.
What about you? What about...
Your voice catches in your throat. I've got a getaway plan, he says urgently, letting your wrist go. Now go, woman! You obey, head swimming. For the second time today, you fly away from Prospet's moon, not daring to turn back until you reach the same bush you dropped that mom and dad on. You've only been awake for an hour or two, but you're still forlorn about what you see. The spires and steeples of the city planet below, now above you, crackling and falling, green electricity crackling through the streets, the forlorn, pained howling of a madman. After a few moments, the rumbling stops. But just like the delayed rumble of a strike of lightning, Prospet's moon explodes into green, horrible flames. You never got to see Prospet. You never got to walk its streets with your sister. You never got to fly over it, laughing and giddy. You never got to watch the clouds of Skya high above and see visions in them. You never got any of these things, but you mourn their loss all the same. You are now Jacob Fitzgerald Harley. Over your life, you've had adventures out the wazoo. Your old hands are as aged and storied as the rings on trees, and you've run the gamut of loss and love, but today takes the cake. 13 years back, you'd come to an island off the west coast of America, on an island that hosted a mysterious set of frog ruins in a lagoon. With your crackerjack team of scientists, you'd opened up the ruins and inspected the technology within, finding impossibly advanced gizmos, all of which your boys reverse-engineered to be usable. From that research came the foundation of SkyaNet and your own tech empire. Cookalizers, transportalizers, ectobiology stations, all made based on the gadgets inside that ruins, plucked clean. But you'd also found her. Jade Harley, your little angel. Though quite inexplicable, you raised Jade Harley as your own. Now today, even more inexplicably, you'd found that girl on this golden planet on your search for treasure, and in that same day you'd seen her die.
Mr. Harley?
A voice tears you from your reminiscing.
Miss Paint,
You say, sitting up.
I hate to be insensitive, but,
Miss Paint squirms, pointing at the corpse of your daughter.
But what, woman?
You demand bitterly. You know it's downright sacrilege to have laid your bleeding dead daughter on the sofa, but you're not accepting critique at this time. Miss Paint eases off, cringing.
Right,
she says. Presently, you're on the escape ship that you'd used to travel from Durst to Prospect before, now a rescue vehicle for the second time today. You'd hopped in the last moments before that Jack fellow obliterated the planet.
Are you still going to try to get the ring? She asks.
No, you sigh. This treasure proved far too much for me, I'm afraid. I ought to head home. I have to tend to poor Jade.
Where is your home, Mr. English?
Miss Paint asks.
When we found you, you were wandering about on the land of wind and shade, but you never explained how you got there.
I suppose I don't know myself, dear. You tug your mustache. I live on a planet called Earth, you see. I was researching this particular set of ruins, inside of which was a mysterious panel that zapped me here. Miss Paint listens, awkwardly leaning on the wall, since the sofa was taken. It managed to zip me away, but I'm afraid that somehow displaced me in time or something.
In time?
Miss Paint cocks her head. Oh yes, you say, sadly looking down at the dead adopted granddaughter. The Jade I know isn't nearly as old as the one you're looking at. There's a long silence. You have a feeling Miss Paint doesn't know what to say. You don't either.
We're almost there, Miss Paint says.
She beckons you to the window on the wall, pointing at the blue sphere of Skya outside.
Look,
she implores. A stray meteor from the ring of space dust around the medium falls lazily towards Skya, but before it can strike the planet, a small window opens in space, swallowing it whole. Goodness, you say.
Skya is said to take things and deliver them where they need to go, in time and space. You see?
Miss Paint asks. To you, this sounds like hokey superstition, but it's not like you have anything to lose. As you watch, however, something odd catches your eye. Heavens to Betty! You cry, pressing your nose against the porthole. That's
To your confusion, another piece of debris sails towards Skaya, but it isn't a space rock. It's the very ruins of your lagoon, sailing through space like a rocket.
Follow that frog,
You cry, gripping Miss Paint's shoulders. The ship mightily changes course, sailing through the empty medium towards Skaya. You watch as a portal opens, swallowing the frog temple, the ship speeding towards it. Before your eyes, another portal opens above Skaya, and through it you see your island, just like you left it. You and Jade seal yourself into one of the ship's escape pods, and just as the massive ship dives upward out of the way, your little pod breaks free and you sail back home. You live out the rest of your days caring for your beloved granddaughter until an untimely accident claims your life on her 13th birthday. You are now Jade Harley, this time awake. You sit bolt upright, fear seizing you. You feel over your back, writhing in place before you realize you are no longer on Prospect at all.
You're up.
Says a quiet voice nearby.
You
croak, pointing a finger at Jade Sprite, who's prodding a green-colored campfire.
I decided to take us through the first gate while you were.
Jade Sprite begins to say, but you cut her off.
You ruined everything.
You say, hand shaking, feeling tears come to your face. Jade Sprite's brand new dog ears, Beck's ears, fold back.
I know, but
She stammers, but you cut her off again.
You knew that taking me through the portal would power up that Jack guy. This is all your fault.
Your head is pounding. You appear to be in front of your house.
Didn't the portal take us to my land?
You say, sniffling.
Oh, well,
Jade Sprite shifts in place.
that's...
Snow falls gently. High in the sky, you can see a faint green sphere floating near the dot of Skaya in the distance.
It turns out your gate just led back to your house.
Jade Sprite says.
Since our land is already here, I guess there's nowhere else to explore for now.
You look out over your island. The lagoon now empty. The volcano. The woods at the mountain's foot.
So, it was pointless.
You conclude.
You took me through a pointless gate for nothing, and now there's a guy with Beck's powers running crazy around the place.
You let your vindication sink in, watching Jade Sprite look down in shame. You feel bad, but at the same time you can't bring yourself to apologize.
Sorry.
She stammers.
Just...
You stand up, pushing your glasses up, pinching the bridge of your nose.
It doesn't matter. Maybe Rose is right. Nothing matters. Come on. Where are you going?
Jade Sprite kicks snow into the green flame, putting it out, hastening after you. Above the treetops of the forest at the foot of the mountain, smoke is billowing.
If I'm on my land already, I might as well, I don't know, play the game, I guess.
You say.
And you're my help character. So keep up.
Turning your back, you hear Jade Sprite follow you, both of you gazing into the sky above, filled with foreboding.
Homestuck Alternate Universe is written, produced, and read by Funk McLovin. Additional voices include articulately composed as Mom and Rose Lalonde, Janiyah Riley as Jade and Kanaya, Captain Laser as Jack Noir, and AE as Terezi Pyrope. Art is by Sunny D, and additional credits are by Funk McLovin. Please support Homestuck Alternate Universe by subscribing, liking the video, and leaving a comment. Homestuck AU is also on Patreon at patreon.com/funkmclovin.